Welcome to this episode of Learning Fusion. We've been going over trackers for the past few episodes, and today's is another one, but we're going to be covering the surface tracker. So let's roll this intro and let's get into it.
We're learning fusion together. We'll learn 2D stuff and 3D stuff and particle stuff and compositing stuff, deep pixel stuff and tracking stuff, but not other stuff, but some other cool stuff, cause we're learning fusion together.
So the surface tracker is used to track surfaces that move and fold and have like an organic movement to it. So stuff like clothing or skin or flesh or anything that's moving you want to track and have your stuff warp to. So let's go ahead and just add a surface tracker and I'll show you what I mean. So shift space, surface tracker, and we're going to add a surface tracker. And again, this is another node I did an in-depth breakdown to. So if you want an in-depth how-to guide to use the surface tracker, you can go ahead and check that node breakdown. In this episode, we're just going to be covering how it works in general and do a couple of examples. So first we want to grab our bounds. So by default, it gives us the ability to add bounds. So we're just going to select an area and we're going to create some bounds here. So there we go, we've got our bounds. And what we want to do is we want to throw a little logo on this t-shirt. So next step, we need to head over to our mesh tab. And on our mesh tab, we can tell it how many points we want or limit the point numbers and our point spacing. So the more points we have, the better your track and your movement's going to be. So we can crank our points up to like 200 and it will leave the spacing down to 10. And once we have our mesh set up, we can head over to the track button. And we're just going to track forward. So there we go. We've got our track of our mesh, track to our little t-shirt folding and the movements. Once we have our track in, we can go to the results, and this is where we tell it what we wanted to do. So by default, it's set to output warp input 2 onto 1. So we can just simply grab some media here. So let's find a little logo we can stick in there. So let's throw my recording studio logo in there, and we've got our logo. Now on the surface tracker, we can resize and everything, but I personally like to throw a transform on here. And in my transform, get whatever I'm putting onto our mesh a little closer to the size so I don't have to mess around with the surface tracker sizing. So on my transform, I can just change my size, get it in there the way I want. If I need to rotate it a little bit, I can. And there we go. We've got our little logo on top. So if I push play, you can see our logo is bending with that t-shirt. And since I really don't like the location of that, we can just go ahead. We can go back to our little bounds here and refresh. And we can dial something in so it's up here a little more where a real logo would really be. So let's go ahead and get our mesh in there. There we go. Go to our mesh, let's crank it, go to our track, and let's track forward. So we've got a track in there, go to our results, bring our logo in, let's go ahead and input it, bring a transform, let's resize our logo there. Let's kind of move it to where we want it. So right there. Now if we look, It's more like a logo on a shirt. You can see it's bending with those bends and folds with that t-shirt, kind of. But we can also go down to our compositing here. We can change our compositing type to overlay so it looks a little more realistic, and we can bring that opacity down a little bit. So there we go. We've got our logo on our t-shirt bending with the t-shirt. And if there is areas like you notice this S is kind of like drooping down there a little bit, you could, where it starts drooping, you could go back to your mesh. And if we select this, if I zoomed in, we can find what's making our S droop, and we can actually edit that little mesh and change our keyframes. But just know you're going to have to do that on every single one. So I have to go to my next keyframe, fix it, go to my next one, fix it, go to my next one, fix it, and so on. You see the point. But you can go through and fix any issues per point, and it'll just automatically update your mesh. It's fit and look. So that's generally what the surface tracker does. Now, mind you, on skin, it doesn't work too great. There's other nodes we use, and we'll get into that in different episodes when we cover like the warp nodes. But this one is meant to do skin, and it does okay, but it's going to depend on what kind of footage you have. So even with something that you would think has a lot of detail in it, a lot of times our meshes are going to slip and not work correctly. So I'll cover that here in a second. But before we do that, we're going to go over some of these other options we have on our surface tracker. So as I said, by default, we are going to our result. We're warping input 2 onto import 1. So whatever we input into this one is getting warped onto our main footage. Now we can also warp 2 into a blank. So we can technically have a blank if we want. So now we've got that warping. So if we needed to do anything different to this, we could bring in, say, a merge node, bring in our original footage, take this, merge it on top of our original footage. And if we wanted to, like, say, change colors, we could add like a color node after this. So we can change it to a nice like purple. And then our merge node, we can go here and we can just change this to overlay. And we can change our little blend mode there. So now we've just got it overlaid using a merge with just that coming out of our little surface tracker output. So it gives you a little more flexibility to alter things and change things instead of doing it all up here. Now another option we have is we can go to output. We can warp input 1's alpha. So if you have an alpha on input 1, it'll warp your alpha onto that, which we don't have an alpha. We can create a mesh alpha mask. So it's just going to create a mask of that alpha, but you're going to lose any of that movement in there. Meaning if I say brought a merge in and we were merging our little footage on top there. If I brought this into our mask input, you can see all it did is it really just masked that input. So anything I bring in here, so if I just bring some, I don't know, random footage, input it, you can see we've got our footage masked on top, but our little warping and movement is going to be gone. It's just creating a mask around that area that we track. And then we can stabilize our warp input 1 and rewarp. So how this works, if I want to stabilize our warp input 1, I can just disconnect this. So now if I look, you can see it's stabilized, but it's not stabilizing what's going on inside. It's just stabilizing the area around it. So if I needed to do anything like paint or add anything, I could go from here to our merge input, merge, and on our text node, I could say text. So there we go. We've got our text, and we can move that And to be able to unwarp this and bring it back, we would simply Control C, make a copy of that, Control V. But what we would want to do is we'd want to take our original input, take this and put it into our foreground. Now we've got our rewarped footage on top. So now in our skin example here, so let's go ahead and add a shift space surface tracker. We're going to bring this up and we're going to go ahead and create our bounds here. So let's create our bounds around our eye. Let's go around her cheek there. Go around her nose. And there we go. And anytime if I need to add, I can just click on there and add again. And there we go. We've got our little bounds. So let's go to our mesh and let's increase this. Now you notice it's not picking up a lot of these porous areas right in here. So if I regenerate, we might be able to get something a little better. But yeah, you can see it's really not catching these pores and stuff that you would think a tracker would catch, because there's a lot of information in there, but it's really not catching all that. But we can go ahead and try our track. So let's go to track. Let's track to the end. And you notice it's really not catching those wrinkles and different stuff. So doing this on skin seems to have some issues. It kind of works, but it's a little jittery and it's not quite realistic. And there's other ways to do this with infusion. Like I said, we'll cover those when we cover like the warp stuff, but this isn't that great. So to show that, let's go ahead and go to result. Let's just import a warp 1 onto 2. So let's see what we can do here. So let's go ahead and let's add some weird veins while she's grunting there. There you go. All right, so let's find something. There we go. I can input this. So we've got some veins going. And let's bring a transform in. And I'm going to flip that and move our transform around. There we go. We got some weird veins. And let's go ahead and create a little mask around some of that stuff. And let's soft edge it out a little bit. Let's change our mask size again. There we go. We got some weird veins. Now, what we could do is if we go to our compositing over here, we can change how that's affecting. We can do like a color burn. And let's go ahead and change it down to 0. Add a keyframe. And right here when she starts grunting, we're going to add a keyframe. And then here, when it's all in, we're going to bring it up. So she's got these little veins popping out. And then right here, we'll go ahead and start bringing them out. There we go. So now if we push play, there we go. She's got these weird veins using the surface tracker, but you can tell it's really not that realistic. It's not moving with her face as much as it should be. So you can play with it, try to get stuff like a little better, but again, there's different nodes to make this better. I mean, it's not too bad, but I wouldn't go with this for production. But yeah. So that is the Surface Tracker node. I will see you in the next episode where we're going to be covering camera tracking, and that one's going to be a long one. So see you in the next episode.